What's up, everyone? Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you may be. Thank you for tuning in to the Man Cave Sports Talk podcast, where you get real sports, real talk, no agendas, just passion. I'm your boy, the Sactown Packhound, with my co-host, Tim the Packer Hill.
Nailed it.
And without further ado, let's go! All right, Tim, there's a lot of stuff to get to this week. We'll just go with, I think, is our last division. We might have one more. I kind of lost track, but we're going to get into the NFC North. Your division right there.
My division. Yes.
We'll start with the Lions, though, because they did finish on top.
Really?
We got to do it. I'll let you lead with the Packers next. So the Lions, I don't think really need a lot. They need help in the secondary. They blew a real big lead, but their skill positions they're really good on both sides. Obviously, Jared Goff, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Aiden Hutchinson. You got some really good players for a long time because most of them are really young. Your defense is what's going to need some help, I think, specifically the secondary.
Oh, I completely agree. The offense on Detroit is very good, but the defense is very suspect.
Yeah.
I mean, the back half of their defense isn't all that great.
Yep.
And they've had a lot of turnover in the offseason.
Right.
To address those needs. Will it pan out? I hope not, because I'd rather have Green Bay slap them around some more.
Yep.
But I'm still not sold completely on Jared Goff. I mean, they could upgrade there.
I don't know if they're,
but it's not really. Obviously, it's not going to come this year.
Yeah.
But they got to start looking around to see what may be available to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because Goff, I'm not sold on him. He's just.
I don't know how you can be. I think he proved everything and then some the past couple of years. I think he's put up some really good numbers. He's a good leader. Seems like his teammates enjoy playing with him, which is a big deal. He's not a distraction. Seems like a team guy. And like I said, they can put up some points. They can put up some freaking points. And Sam Laporta, I think him and Dalton Kincaid are coming to take Travis Kelce's, throne. I think they're 1A and 1B. They are amazing tight ends.
Yeah, I think Dalton Kincaid will probably have a much better season.
Oh, especially with Stephon Diggs gone.
Yeah, he's the only one left.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what they draft or if there's...
Oh, Kincaid's going to have 120 receptions this year.
It very well could happen.
100%. So
I'll be drafting him in our league. So not a problem there. But yeah, no, I mean, I like the team. But they play hard for their coach. Their coach is just like them. Mm-hmm. It represents the city.
Taller team.
Yeah, I mean, they do everything, which is hard to say, the right way now.
Right.
I mean, they've been a train wreck for
decades.
So, I mean, the
best running back in history's career.
Yeah,
made him want to retire so early.
And then one of the best wide receivers,
Calvin Johnson.
Yeah. So I mean,
beast.
They just, if they can learn to get out of their own way, I think they'll be okay.
Yep.
I mean, they'll be in the playoffs next year.
Yep.
Fully agree with that.
They're one of my favorite teams to watch play. I really enjoy watching them play. I'm very excited to see what Jahmyr Gibbs does in his sophomore season. I think
they got to give him more touches.
A lot more touches. They were so pass heavy last year. It was crazy.
But they were split back with Montgomery getting a lot of the goal line sniper crap. So fantasy, I have Jahmyr Gibbs, and he will be a keeper for me. But if they're going to keep giving Montgomery the sniper touchdowns, it just sucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
all right, now
the old guy.
We'll get into your boys, and I'll let you go. What do the Packers need to do this offseason?
Well, the Packers this offseason, they've gone a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They got Josh Jacobs from the Raiders.
Big move.
They let go of Aaron Jones. I understand the reasoning behind it.
It's the same thing, but a younger version.
Yeah. He's 4 years younger. He's now cheaper.
In running back years, though, you might as well be 10 years.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, but Aaron Jones, after his injury last year in his last 6 or 7 games, he was phenomenal. He was a great back.
But it seems like, I don't know if it was the coach or what it was. It just seemed at times they forgot about him. He would just go for such long spurts, and he wouldn't get enough, you know what I'm saying, touches. If you're that good of a back and you're only getting 9 touches a game, what are you supposed to do? Backs usually like that get better the more touches that they get.
I will say that early on in the season when Jordan Love was having his issues, that maybe they just tried to play Jordan Love through the problems. Because it was a transition year. They weren't expecting a whole lot.
Right.
So if you give Love the space to grow and not have to just keep force feeding your running backs all the time, and see what happens towards the end of the year to see if that growth actually occurs.
Right.
Were they ever going to move on from Aaron Jones after this year? There's a likelihood because of his contract structure. Right. So he was $13 million on the cap. So you cut off 3 of that, you cut off 4 years, you bring in a Josh Jacobs who had a down year, but the year before he was
led the league in rushing. He had almost 1,700 yards rushing, and he could catch really well out of the backfield.
Correct.
I think you guys upgraded, honestly. I think Aaron Jones 4 years ago was better. I think Aaron Jones right now, I think you guys upgraded for what you got. And like you said, cheaper. You save money.
Yeah.
And at the worst case, you're equal. But the way that Josh Jacobs runs, man, you're going to love it, bro. You are going to love it.
I hope so. And the fact that we re-signed A.J. Dillon to keep him in the office is great for us. The issues that we have is our offensive line now, because Bakhtiari was released. Josh Yaiman went to Carolina. Rasheed Walker was the starting tackle for most of the season on the left side, but he, to me, didn't produce as well as the other guys have been in the past.
Right.
So they may need to look at that. We lost John Runyon, our guard, but they still seem to click. They still protected Jordan Love very well. He wasn't sacked very often. He didn't throw a lot of interceptions. He wasn't pressured a lot. I mean, in the Dallas game, you're supposed to go against this great front seven in Dallas and Micah Parsons, and they were nowhere to be found.
Yeah. Jordan Love, a lot of bad stuff about Micah Parsons.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was nothing that Dallas's defense could do against Jordan Love. He just destroyed them, and it was awesome to see. And that's why I'm looking so forward to this next season with him at the helm, just to see if it continues. Right. Can it go up another level?
Yeah.
And then get into, okay, maybe I am one of the better quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah, he definitely has to start better this year, because he had a terrible start last year.
It was horrible.
Terrible.
I tried to peel him from
almost midway through the season. I was like, oh my God, this guy's a fucking joke. But then as he came on last half, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And you guys have really good wide receiver core with Romeo Doubs and Christian. You know, they're amazing. Watson is amazing.
We have the youngest set of skill players in the league, and it's not even close. We have Reed and Wicks.
I love Reed. And Reed's awesome.
Kraft and Musgrave at tight end, and Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, and Bo Melton. You don't even hear about Bo Melton, and he's actually good.
I think one of your biggest issues, secondary, and you guys got to extend Jordan Love.
Well, those talks have already.
Yeah, it's going to cost you guys. Yeah, it's going to cost you guys.
Correct.
That's going to be a big, big chunk.
So yeah, they're working through that now. I've seen some reports that they're in discussions and trying to get him re-signed for a multi-year deal, which will be a large contract.
It's funny because I had this argument a few years ago when Derek Carr signed his contract, and guy that I was arguing with was a supposed Raiders fan, but he always hates when we sign quarterbacks. And I always tell him, any quarterback that's getting a new deal is going to be the next highest paid quarterback almost, or up there, because every team has salary caps and they have to spend a certain amount of money. the quarterbacks are going to get the majority of the money. Mm-hmm. And if the quarterback gets past his rookie contract, he's going to get a max deal. Yeah, and they just keep going up and up and
next
up
man
and up.
up.
It's the next man up. And it's the same thing. It's just going to continue.
And it doesn't matter if the next man up isn't as good as the last man.
No, Trevor Lawrence is about to get the highest watch. He's going to get the highest contract for a quarterback whenever he signs his. Yeah. And it's ridiculous. Well, because I don't think he's proven enough to get that, but he's going to get it.
It's also that year in, year out, the overall salary cap number continues to grow up.
Yeah.
So
because dumbasses like us join 6 fantasy leagues and watch every game.
and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's any kickback from any of the sports betting back.
Oh, there has to be.
I don't know the particulars.
There has to be.
But I mean, it is what it is, and the next man up's got to get paid.
Yeah.
And right now it's Jordan Love.
Yep.
So, but with Green Bay's defense, you stated that cornerback's an issue. The quarterbacks were actually hurt last year.
Mm-hmm.
So Jair Alexander was on the shelf for a little while.
Yeah, I like Jair. Really.
Stokes is on the shelf for a little while. We traded Rasul Douglas midway through the year, which was, I don't even know why we did that when we had so many injury issues. But Valentine and Valentine are very good young cornerbacks.
I always get nervous with young cornerbacks, especially with how the NFL is now. Yeah.
They did very well.
How the NFL is now, it's like, and now it's even harder because now you can't hip drop, you know what I'm saying, tackle. Pretty soon it's right on the verge of being two-hand touch.
It is. In flag football.
It's so ridiculous, man.
I don't know how they're going to do that, the hip thing, because when you hit somebody, you're going to slide down. And you're going to grab.
Have they ever felt the NFL uniform? The pants are slippery as hell.
Yeah.
The jerseys are slippery as hell. The people are moving hella fast and pushing you off.
The undershirts are tearaways.
Yeah. It's so you got to hit from here to here, straight on, and don't land on them, and don't drag them down.
Correct. How are you supposed to tackle? You can't grab them by the face mask.
Nope.
You can't grab them by the...
It's so ridiculous.
The neck collar.
There's definitely going to be some 2,000 yards put up very soon.
You can only tackle running backs at their feet now.
Yeah. Yep. Good luck.
Or the normal tackling nowadays is try to slam into him as hard as you can to knock him down.
Yep. Because you get a good back that has good freaking balance like Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs, and they're going to bounce off you. You're not going to take them down like that.
I mean, they teach you to wrap up and tackle to bring them to the ground.
You use your momentum to tackle them. Mm-hmm. You're going 2 different ways. It's as much as I love the NFL, I hate how it's getting. I really do. The new kickoff rule, I hate that. I think it's stupid. I think it's going to be better for the kickoffs. I just hate how they keep changing everything that's been in place forever.
I understand what they're doing. They're limiting the space to get a complete running start with missile people. So they
already freaking did that with taking away the overload on one side. So you don't say do that. You can't do a wedge. There's a lot of things that they've done, and it's not like we're freaking lining up 30 yards away from each other. You're 10 yards away.
Yeah, well, now they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're still running full speed from the 35 all the way down there.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're running from the 30 on the other side to right when the ball is caught between the goal line and the 20. You don't have a lot of space to get a lot of momentum. Mm-hmm. So essentially you're just going
to have a lot.
It's just like it's like a running back getting the ball on a regular offensive play. Mm-hmm. And then you got to pick your way through whatever you got to pick your way through. Mm-hmm. Which would make sense if you have now running backs taking these kickoffs instead of receivers.
That's why Cordell Patterson got signed the day after that happened.
Yeah, because he's both.
He's crazy.
So it would be interesting to see what teams do back there, if they keep putting receivers or if they keep putting running backs back there now.
Yeah.
Because it's a rushing.
What the NFL wants is for every score to be 52 to 48. That's what they want. Defense is getting X'd out of the game as much as they possibly can, unfortunately. And the penalties, this is going to be a bad year for penalties. It's going to be bad.
I hope that whatever they do in the preseason, they get it fixed then before the regular season starts.
Yep.
So at least, and then let the teams know how they're going to do this.
Yeah.
Because I know that, there's only 2 preseason games now. So you don't have the 4 to go through and tinker with what you got to do. You got 2. So you got to figure out what you screwed up in the first game, fix it for the second game, and then let the teams know this is how it's going to go. Yeah. So
I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Or there's going to be some serious shit.
Yes, there is. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Bears. The Bears are actually a pretty exciting team for what they've done. They signed DeAndre Swift. They got Keenan Allen. They got Caleb Williams they're about to draft. They got DJ Moore. They got a lot of positional players, skill position. Defense is still pretty bad. Defense was not too bad, but they're going to have to step up in that division with the Packers and the Lions. They got a lot of work to do.
They have a diva quarterback coming in.
Yep. I've been saying it. I think Caleb Williams is so overrated, it's ridiculous.
I think he's got a very good skill set.
Yep.
I think he is a very good quarterback. But the problem with the Bears and their quarterbacks, if you didn't even know this, they've never had a quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns ever in the history of their franchise.
Who's their best quarterback ever? Jim McMahon or Jay Cutler? That's their best quarterbacks ever?
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, ever?
Yeah. Well, you got how they run their quarterbacks and how they run their offensive coordinators or head coaches or what have you. They don't have long in a system before they're gone.
Yeah.
And somebody else comes in.
Right.
And what takes place is normally when they draft these quarterbacks early, the head coach is either on his way out or soon to be on his way out. Mm-hmm. Offensive coordinators are changed, and they go through the Alex Smith syndrome of getting a different offensive coordinator every year.
Derek Carr, 7 offensive coordinators in 9 years.
Alex Smith had 6 and 7 years.
I tell people all the time, because people always, I'm a big Derek Carr guy. I know he didn't have a good year last year, but I try to tell people all the time, most people that are so critical never played football, and especially quarterback.
I did.
And to learn, just imagine learning a new playbook every single year, a new offensive scheme every single year. It is so hard to do, and you're still putting up over 4,000 yards, 28, 29 touchdowns, a year. It's crazy, So something else is Caleb Williams is going from USC, where they're playing in 80, 90, 70 at the coldest all year, to Chicago, where you're going to be playing in negative freaking 10-degree weather.
Yeah.
Little different, bro. But it's going to be a little different.
It's not even just Caleb Williams
Keenan Allen, too.
Look, try to remember his name. Uberflus?
Oh, yeah.
Eber, whoever. He was on the hot seat. He should have been fired at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. But now they brought him back to draft a quarterback with a GM that I will say shouldn't be a GM. He's not good, but yet he still remains there. Mm-hmm. They only have 4 draft picks in this.
But 2 in the top 10.
They have 2 in the top 10, and it wouldn't surprise me that they trade the number 9 pick to collect more.
And I am so looking forward to this draft. It's going to be so interesting to see what so many teams do, because you're right. They have the 9th, right?
They have the 9th.
So they have the 9th, and all signs are pointing towards them taking Adunzi, or what's the other one? Neighbors. But they already have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. So you're going to take another, now Keenan Allen's older, but you're going to take another receiver and make Keenan Allen your third option, whereas you need so many other things. And like you said, only having that many draft picks, you can trade that 9. You can get another late round first and a second.
Well, the best thing that I think, even though they have 4 draft picks, I think the best thing for Chicago to do is to draft that receiver at 9 if by chance they're still there. Mm-hmm. A lot of teams are going to be moving around in this draft.
But a lot of the teams that are moving up need quarterbacks. Minnesota.
Which will drop the receivers down to where they will have the pick of whoever.
Right.
Obviously, Marvin Harrison will go the first. Neighbors probably will go second.
Right.
In whichever order and how far they go down. Depends on who comes up for what.
I think Brock Bowers is going to be the big surpriser. I think someone's going to take him earlier than what we expect.
I still think he goes 10 at the Jets.
He definitely could. He definitely could.
Based off of everything that I've seen.
But I want to be surprised. What if the Bears take him at 9?
Oh, there's no way.
You don't think so?
They were pretty set with Cole Kmet last year.
Cole Kmet was okay. Yeah, he's not too bad.
I think, but the thing is it's kind of like what happened with Devontae Adams in Green Bay. We drafted Devontae Adams in the second round. He was a train wreck his first season. That dude couldn't catch a cold. But the thing is we had Jordy Nelson. We had Greg Jennings.
Yeah.
We had James Jones. We had other receivers that he could mentor from. Randall Cobb was a big one. I don't think Jennings was there at the time. I think he had gone on. But it was Cobb and Nelson, and he learned from those guys to only grow. That's, I think, why the move for Keenan Allen possibly was made. We know we're drafting 9. We know we're going to probably get a receiver at this time. Let him grow with Keenan Allen. Let him learn from him. Because Keenan Allen is a workhorse at a stud.
For sure.
He's just old.
Yeah.
So I can see that happening. But if they do trade out, what are they going to get at the 9 pick from who? I mean, is Minnesota going to come up and trade 2 first to get Bo Nix? I mean,
no, I think Minnesota and the Raiders are looking to move into the top 4. I think because they all want Jaden Daniels. I've been hearing a lot of stuff now that the Raiders might stay put and go after Penix.
But that wouldn't be until the second round. They may trade back in at the late end of the first round or never up in the second.
It's the Raiders, bro. It's the Raiders. We normally take whoever runs the fastest 40. It doesn't matter what freaking position they play.
Or drives the fastest car.
Yeah, it's freaking outrageous. I know there's going to be some surprises on this draft, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what happens because there's some potential, as there is almost every year, but this year in particular, there's some potentially franchise-changing quarterbacks coming in. There's a lot of them right now. You don't know who's going to, pan out, who's going to be a bust.
Correct.
More than likely, the majority of them will be a bust like they normally are. There's very few draft classes where 5-6 quarterbacks come in that are supposed to be really good and they all pan out. It's usually 1, maybe 2.
The 2014 class. There was a whole lot of quarterbacks.
2021 class. Like, good Lord.
The 2021 class. I mean,
Mac Jones, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I believe in Trevor Lawrence.
I'm not sold.
The rest of them are all.
I'm not sold on Trevor Lawrence, especially like, I don't know who he's freaking throwing to now.
They'll figure it out.
So moving on from that, Minnesota Vikings. I think we all know what they got to do. They need a quarterback, and they need it now.
They're going to try to move into the top 5.
They have to.
But the thing is the Giants are going to try to move into there. The Raiders can move into there. Being the Arizona Cardinals at 4 and the Chargers at 5, they can literally just squeeze the life out of these teams to get to that spot.
Yeah.
And I know that there's not a lot of time. There's 14 minutes by the time that third selection of Drake May to Indianapolis happens, or not Indianapolis, but New England happens, that they're going to be fielding calls. How many phones you going to have in front of you?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be multiple teams trying to get with you to try to.
Minnesota is going to give up everything they can because if not, they're going to have to trade Jefferson. He's too good of a freaking receiver to have Jared Hall throwing him the ball.
Well, Minnesota has the best offer. They have 2 first-round picks.
Yep.
So, I mean, what else are you going to get with them? I mean,
but then again, you're rolling the freaking dice.
I know.
I mean, you're moving all the way up, and you're doing. I mean, not as bad, but like, look what the Saints did with Ricky Williams. Mike Ditka gave them their future for the next decade to get Ricky Williams, You know what I'm saying? And it's like, how much are you going to give up to get a quarterback that you hope is good? And like I said, the majority of these quarterbacks don't pan out. And you have a lot of weapons over there, Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. You got to get them the freaking ball, and you better get a quarterback that could do it and make them happy.
And they acquired Aaron Jones.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Which pissed me off that he had to go there. But I would say it's better than Dallas, but I don't think it is.
No, I mean, no.
Just don't go to 3 teams.
Yeah.
Don't go to Chicago, because a lot of the cast-offs from Green Bay somehow end up in Chicago. And I don't know why.
Division, man.
Yeah,
they want to play you guys.
Yeah, but they keep getting their ass spanked by us.
Hey, they don't. You don't think that when you're getting traded, you just want the money and the revenge. You got an opportunity for both. You're going to take it.
And I know Aaron Jones, even though
freaking Brett Favre did, he just wanted to beat y'all ass bad.
Well, that was totally different.
That was so crazy. I still can't believe that happened. He looks so weird in that purple uniform, bro.
Oh, yeah. And then he comes out and smokes us.
Yeah.
That's the bad part. He came out and he was, I mean, he had an MVP year in 2009.
Yeah.
Until he was taken out in the playoffs by the Saints goon squad.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Now, I want to get into what I really wanted to talk about. Best things we've seen this week. But let's start with our Sacramento freaking Kings. There was nothing that has made me happier in sports in the last few years than, with about 5 minutes left in the Warriors game, seeing the faces of Curry and Thompson and Draymond when they just gave up. I am a huge fan and student of the game of basketball. And when I was watching the game with my son, and we both said it at the same time, it was like 5 minutes and some change left, and we both looked at each other and we're like, they gave up. Curry wasn't running around screens no more. He was he was down. His head was down. You could tell by his body language, they knew it was over. Yeah. And it made me feel so good. And I like Klay Thompson. You're in the game with 0 points, bro.
You were 0 for 10.
And then Curry was trying to do everything he could. And Herter, my boy, you ain't never coming back to Sac. Keon Ellis came in there and took your spot.
Yeah.
You're done.
Well,
he's done, bro. Red Velvet's done.
Yeah, but the thing is you can start Kevin Herter because he works well on Domas.
No.
But
Keon Ellis does everything that Herter does, but plays way better defense.
Yeah, no, he does.
Way better, especially perimeter, say a defense.
Well, he earned himself a 3-year deal, which is great because if you look at the contracts for the Kings going forward, there's not a lot of people left.
Nope.
I mean, we have Sabonis.
Got to sign Malik Monk. We got to sign him.
He's got 1 more year.
Yeah, but he's gonna need some money.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They're gonna have to sign him. And now we play the Pelicans, who have given us fits, but they don't have Zion Williamson.
And they have a hurt Brandon Ingram.
Ingram is definitely hurt. And I just feel like right now, I don't know why, but I would almost guarantee that we win this game. I feel that we have momentum right now. I feel that we played so bad the last half of the season. I think we're coming into the playoffs with like a newfound life to us. We looked like a different team in that freaking Warriors game.
Well, I also like the fact that he's gone to a 7.5-man rotation, and you keep kind of these clowns off the floor. The starters all played almost 40 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Almost 40 minutes in that game. And you've got Trey Lyles and you've got Davion Mitchell coming off the bench.
Alex Len a little bit.
Yeah, because he's got to spell
Sabonis
for a few minutes. But the fact that they played defense like they did, they were closing out on shooters.
Much better.
They got timely steals. I mean, Fox just keeps pickpocketing people, which is
Keegan Murray too.
Keegan Murray played great. They shot the ball well. They ran their offense well. They were physical. They rebounded. They defended. They didn't let the Warriors do anything that they wanted to do.
Yep.
If we do that against New Orleans, we're going to blow them out of the gym.
100%.
I think there's like 3 keys to this game. There's probably more, but the 3 that I have is treat Trey Murphy and CJ McCollum like Curry and Klay Thompson. Play them the same way. They get going, the rest of their team opens up.
Right.
Shut that down. You don't have 100% Brandon Ingram. The dude either got benched or he's on a time restriction because he didn't play in the fourth quarter against the Lakers. Okay, so he was a non-factor, and now Zion's hurt. And Zion
He's
crushed
definitely
him.
not playing.
He is definitely out. So what do you have left? The other is Sabonis. Make sure they know you're there.
Dude. And can you hit a freaking free throw jumper, please? Please? Once?
10 to 12 foot jumpers, he's got to be able to hit one sometime. But if you're not going to hit it, at least don't turn the ball over trying to get to a spot that they're taking away from you. Okay, give the ball up, repost, whatever. Set screens, do whatever you do in your offense because the offense ran really well. You don't turn the ball over, we're fine.
That's it. Minimize turnovers.
Correct.
That's our freaking kryptonite, man.
Agreed. And the third thing is hit the open shots.
Which we were doing against the Warriors.
Correct. Hit the open shots. I mean, if you can order a cheeseburger and fries from where you're at before they cover you, you have to hit those shots.
Dude, you know who's been like impressing the hell out of me with their outside shooting is Davion Mitchell. He has been lights out.
Yeah, he has come on since the Herder injury, and then obviously Monk. He has played really well. In his spurts that he's been on the floor.
Absolutely.
And he defends well. Even though he's shorter, he still defends well.
Oh, he's on people.
So I think all the momentum, yes, is with Sacramento. Yes, they are on the road against a team they're 0-5 against.
Which means we're due.
Yeah, Fox said it best. And he didn't even break a smile when he said it. He's all, it's really hard to beat a team 6 times. And he didn't even break a smile. Everybody else, everybody's laughing. I laughed at it. And he was dead. So I'm like, all right. Fox, the other one I had was Fox needs to get downhill.
Yes. I'm so sick of. He might not even be freaking playing.
His ankles or knees he jacked up both
ankles.
Okay, in that game. So he's got to be hurting a little bit. Get your ass downhill on that climb.
Yeah.
And put pressure on him to defend you.
Yep.
You can score at will.
Absolutely. That's one thing I was kind of getting frustrated with at the Warriors game when we had the lead and then they came back to within 5. I felt that Fox was not being aggressive enough getting to the basket. I felt like he was settling for too many jumpers and fadeaways. I said the same thing. I'm like, you can get to the basket any damn time you want.
But the thing is, in the second half, when they started to come back a little bit, Fox would get a jumper. They'd come back a little bit, Fox would get a jumper. He would break the momentum here and there. And then they'd go down.
We were hitting crazy tough shots. Harrison Barnes hit some couple of down fadeaways where I was like, what are you doing? Good shot. It was crazy. I was like, is that Kobe out there? Like, what the hell is going on?
It would be nice to have Harrison Barnes show up in this game as well.
Yes, for sure.
But as long as they can get off to a good start and not get deflated by getting manhandled by him, because they were manhandled in 5 games. I mean, they got blown out in 3 of them.
Yep.
And the other 2 probably weren't that close either.
Nope.
So I really hope that they get off to a good start and they play as hard and as smart as they did in the last game. And if they did, I'll tell you one thing, Oklahoma City has got a fight on their hands.
Yes, they do.
Because the Kings have had their number over the last couple of seasons.
Yep.
I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but I know they have a winning record.
Sabonis is going to bully the hell out of Chet Holmgren.
Oh, yeah. He'll knock him around.
Bully him to death.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying. I think Chet's a really good player. He is too light in the ass. He's not going to be able to get down there and bang with them. And then you bring Alex Len in. He could do the same thing. I mean, it's just he's going to have a problem down there in the post.
But I will say the Warriors-Kings game, the referees allowed a lot of physicality in that game, and it was on both sides.
Yep.
I mean, they didn't call shit anywhere.
Yep.
I mean, you could literally elbow and throw people around, and they wouldn't call it.
Yep.
If they once the Kings beat the Pelicans on Friday, if they allow that type of game in the Kings Thunder series, the Kings will win that series.
Oh, but yes, for sure.
Okay, because Shea will get to the line whatever he gets to the line at, but if you can limit that, He shot 20 free throws in the last game against us, and half of those were just BS crap.
Yeah.
So you get rid of the BS crap, and he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Then I think the Kings, literally, the 8th seed will beat the 1 seed.
Yeah.
And that's not just being a Kings homer.
Right.
That's just based off of what's taken place this year and last year.
For sure.
And how they play.
Mm-hmm.
Kings are a bad matchup for the Thunder.
Yep. Yep.
Just as the Lakers are a very bad matchup against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
And the Nuggets are going to sweep their ass.
I hope so. So one of the best things and favorite things that I had this past week was UFC 300. I'm a huge UFC fan. And besides my boy Bo Nickel winning by submission, Max Holloway knocking out Justin Gaethje with 1 second left on the clock was one of the most epic moments in UFC history. For those of you that are not familiar with the UFC, Max Holloway has kind of like a thing that he does in every fight. Whether he's winning or losing, he always, the last 10 to 15 seconds of the fight, he tells his, opponents, let's go in the middle, and they just throw freaking hands.
Yeah. And he connected.
And it's crazy because I will give Justin all the props in the world because he was ahead of that fight. He didn't have to go in there. He could have just circled around, kept his distance. He would have won the fight. He decided to go in there and throw hands with arguably the best boxer in the MMA, in the UFC. And he got caught, bro.
He did.
And he went
on his face. Yep.
Went limp. And it was one of those things where it's a walk-off home run. And it's one of those things where in the UFC, it can happen at any time. Anybody that steps in that cage, I got mad respect for. Because anybody can get knocked out at any time. I've seen it in so many fights where a guy is ahead on every scorecard. He's got the guy knocked down a couple of times, and you connect one time on the tip of the chin, and your lights go out.
Yeah.
And those two were throwing, bro. There was a couple of shots that Holloway, dude, Justin missed them just barely, dude. Even in at the press conference after the fight, he was like, the wind from those punches was hurting. Like, dude, that was with 1 second left on the clock. That was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in the UFC.
Yeah, it was a crazy fight.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I didn't see the entirety of UFC 300, but I did see the highlights of that exchange.
Yeah.
And I mean, they both gave as good as they got.
Yeah.
But there was just one more gotcha.
Yeah.
And
it was one of the few times, the past few cards that were supposedly really big, I was super disappointed in because they were supposed to be these great cards. And then you have 10 fights and you have no knockouts. It's just, they're super boring. This one lived up to the hype. All the fights were amazing. It was freaking awesome.
The intro of, was it Pierre?
Yeah.
Doing his arrow thing and jump all the hill, like grabbing it and smashing it. And,
I like when he freaking knocks Hill out and he's like,
yeah, you get it up.
It was,
are you, is that all you got?
It was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. My best thing I saw this past weekend was it was Masters week.
Mm-hmm.
Golf for me is on the Masters. I love watching Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
And that course just ate people's asses, and it was so much fun to watch. And it wasn't really the course; it was the wind. The wind just was picked up.
Wind is the worst in every sport. As a basketball player, there's nothing I hate worse than wind. I'd rather
the outdoor course.
Pouring rain. I hate wind.
Yeah, well, golfing wind is brutal.
Yeah,
but watching White Tiger, Scotty Scheffler, do what he does, just it's amazing. He's got kind of a goofy footwork, but when it came down to it, and everybody was tied at 6 under. Early in the back 9, and then one guy would put it in the drink.
Yep.
And another guy would put it in the drink. And the contenders just started to drop.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Scotty Scheffler, birdie 13, birdie 14, par 15, birdie 16, and just take just take the jacket from everybody and just kick them all square in the sack.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful to watch. It was just epic. And he is number 1 in the world for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
he's never going to live up to being number one for as long as Tiger was. I mean, he's got like 12 years to go to catch him. But he is by far the best golfer out on tour right now. So, but next to me, who shot 71 at the Ridge on Friday.
Nice.
So, it had 20-mile-an-hour wind.
That's like one thing I'm a sports junkie. I play sports my entire life. Any sport you could think of, except for golf. And I'm going to tell you why I don't play. I've been offered to go play. You know, I'm married into the Nick Watney family. My cousin, you know what I'm saying, Terry's asked me to go out a ton of time. I've never done it because, number one, I know I will suck at it when I start. When I suck at it, because of how I am and how competitive I am, I will become obsessed with it. And I know that I won't stop until I get good at it, which will take a decade. And I will spend tens of thousands of dollars on clubs. So to forego all of that, I just don't do it.
We got to go golf.
I already know. I'm gonna hit it and the ball's gonna go over there and I'm gonna
you just gotta it's just like any other sport.
Yeah.
You just do it.
Yep.
I mean, for me, I'm not great at any sport, but I'm really good at a lot of sports. I mean, I bowl really well. I have a 4 handicap in golf. I mean, the Ridge is a really hard course. They had punched greens, 20-mile-an-hour winds, some tight fairways. Yeah. I shot 71. I had 10 putts on the back 9. Nice. I was on fire. It was awesome. But it's just like any other sport. You just go do it. Yep. I mean, basketball, I can shoot the ball well. I don't play great defense. I'm too big. But I will hound you a little bit.
Let me tell you, dude, you know, we played in a freaking league for what, 16, 17 years? Long time, right? Won championships. We played with ex-NBA players. We had a really good squad. I destroyed my knee 6, 7 years ago. I don't know. Haven't played since then. I got asked to come play for a team. So I went out and played. My shot is still there. My anger is also still there. The team that I was playing with, bro, oh my God. I was so frustrated. That and these young dudes, man, they're fucking quick. They are quick, bro.
Yeah. I need to guard the big slow.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, dude. It was like, I get mad because I'm like, 10, 15 years ago, bro, I would have dusted your ass. Now it's like that first step, I was like, where'd he go? Oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I gotta be in a 40 and over league, bro. I'll kill you in that league.
Hey, I mean, I played in the last couple of weeks at in Lincoln. There's a clubhouse that put on a league. So for anybody that belongs to the clubhouse,
nice.
But it was turn in paperwork. This guy seat puts you with whoever based off of being advanced or intermediate or beginner or whatever. They put 2 of each one and then filled it out with intermediate players. So I didn't know any of these guys going in. Well, we ended up winning the championship the first game, the first year. There was one game that I hit 10 3-pointers.
Nice.
The other team was surprised. Just because I'm old? So I'm right? Just because I'm bigger?
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what there's 2 things I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot threes on you, and I will post your ass up on the left block, and I will spin move your ass into a layup, and you're going to foul me. There's 2 things I'm going to do. That's it.
Hey, I like that because let me tell you what they did in our league, and I hate it, and I'll never play for them again. All these teams sign up for the D division. Right? So we're warming up, and I see this dude walking up, and he's like 6'5", athletic, young black dude. I was like, I hope that's the ref. Comes starts putting his shoes on. I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, is that Malik Monk, dude? Warming up. They're shooting around. I look over. This dude throws the ball off the backboard and does a windmill dunk. I was like, yeah. Dude, they were beating our ass by like 50. I was so mad. You know me. I had to start talking to him.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, you guys are the best D division team I'd ever seen. And they're like, oh, there's some good teams in this league. I go, anybody that could even compete with you guys should not be in this league. This is ridiculous.
D.
And so,
D.
Dude, they are up by like 50. There's like 3 minutes on the clock. I hear one of them tell the other guy, hey, I think we can get 100. That made me so mad, dude. I get the ball on the point. I turn around. They're pressing. They're up 50, bro. I turn around. I handed him the ball. He was like surprised he went and scored. Pass it into me again. I handed it to him again. I said, this is obviously way more important to you than it is for me, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, this right here is how people get in fights.
Yep.
Like, oh, I was so mad, dude. But
Because I would hand them the ball, and then I would chase them down and clock them in the back as they're shooting a layup. That's what I would do. Don't do that shit again.
I was so freaking frustrated. All right, so one thing that I wanted to talk about is Panini. Talking about sports card hobby now. And I've been saying for a long time, but really the past like 6 months in particular, how Panini has been drastically overpricing their products, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I know that you've seen it. They have done such a massive price drop on so many products.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And they're still higher than like blowout.
Yeah. So I'm going to go over like the biggest one, which was crazy, was Impeccable WWE. It came out at $900 a box.
Yeah.
They dropped it to $650. When you drop a box $250, you're like, yeah, we were screwing you guys. Sorry.
Yeah, you are out of touch with the market.
Yeah. Then Limited went from $319 to $239. Zenith from $324 to $224. Illusions from $400 to $300. Prism Soccer $270 to $250. Rookies of Stars $394 to $324. I mean, they are just going across the board because, like I was saying, unless breakers are buying these, they're never going to sell out of these products. No. And it is so frustrating, especially with, like, I really wanted to get one of those Impeccable WWE for my channel. I thought it'd be really great to break. I expected it to be $650, $700. When that shit came out at $900, and in hobby shops it's more because they got to make a profit. Mm-hmm. So in hobby shops it's like $1,200.
Well, I'm wondering what are the hobby shops getting these things at? Because I know they're getting bulk case deals somehow.
Well, see, they don't, because most of them, they don't have deals with Panini. They have to go through vendors. Panini will not even give them deals.
Okay.
And so most of them, they have to go through their vendors, and the higher price items like that, they'll only give them one case. It's stupid, bro.
That's crazy.
They give them one case, and like Impeccable, like National, you know what I'm saying, Treasures, you're getting 3-4 boxes. Like, what the hell am I going to do with 3 or 4 boxes? You know what I'm saying?
But all these breakers have multiple dozens of cases.
Yeah, because they buy it by the pallet, and they do buy it from, you know what I'm saying, Panini, because they're buying that much. And that's what's so frustrating, is because Panini marks it for whatever that they want. And like I said, the breakers are going to buy it because no matter what they price it at, they're still going to make money.
Yeah.
Whereas the hobby shops get screwed in it, bro, because the hobby shops are paying a little less than what is on the Panini website. They're not paying a lot, you know what I'm saying, less. And on top of that, for the higher end products, for like, if they want to get Flawless or National Treasures, the vendors, they screw these guys. They say, all right, we're going to give you a case of this. If you want 2 cases, we'll sell you 2 cases, but you also have to buy 10 cases of this crap product that no one's going to want.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they get screwed on it, and then they don't even make money on boxes, bro. They might make if they make $60 on a freaking hobby box, they're doing really good. They make all their money off of singles. That's why a lot of shops are going to Whatnot now, because they don't make money on hobby boxes. Yeah. It's the thing crazy.
Is, how are you able to make the money off the singles when what the product that's in the box doesn't equal what the box costs?
Yeah.
99% of the time.
Because I do a lot of shows, and I'm with a lot of these guys that own these shops. And a lot of their buys come from people that get their cards on freaking, whatnot. So they hit a big card on, whatnot. Mm-hmm. The card is worth $5,000. They only paid $500 to get into the break. So they come up to them. They're like, hey, what were you, give me for this card? They're going to give them 65, 70% of comps. They're getting the card for way cheaper than what a comp is. Dude is selling it. He's making $2,500 on a card he paid $500 for. It's a win-win for them.
Yeah, that's what I'm surprised with how people are selling cards at, say, 65 or 70% of comps. Mm-hmm. Why can't you sell it at comps?
No one's going to buy it. Like, when I do a show, like I got a big one coming up this weekend, and I already got a lot of repackers contacting me about, bigger cards, downtowns, gold vinyls, kaboom, stuff like that, because that's what they put in there, repacks. And repackers pay more than anybody else because they don't really care about the comps. So they'll pay pretty close to comps. Anybody else, though, another vendor, someone else buying, most of the time you're going to get 75 to 80% of comps. That's just, when they come up to my table, every show, I'm straightforward. People come up, are you buying? Yes, I am. But before you even take your cards out, I'm going to let you know right now, I'm going to be about 75% of comps. And I'll just let them know straightforward because I'm going to put it in my case at comp, and I'm going to try to sell it for 85% comps, which I usually don't get. It's usually around 80. So I'm only making a 5% profit.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. You go to dude, I do a lot of shows now, and I try to buy as much as I can. And even I can't even buy a lot of stuff because some of these guys, I don't think they want to sell cards. I think they just like going to these shows to show off what they have. We just went to a show, a month ago? Yeah. I'm walking around and I'm like, I wanted to buy Anthony Edwards stuff because I'm like, I think his cards are going to skyrocket. Right now, you get them for a decent price. He's going off. I'm walking around, dude, these people we were looking at several of them. Their cards were 2 to 3 times comps. And you try to talk them down, and they're like, no, I'm firm. And I'm like, the last one of these sold last week for $700. You got it in your case for $16. I'm like, how do you plan on selling it? No, I'm firm. And it's like, you're never going to sell a card. When I go to a show, I price every one of my cards at comps, but I make sure I buy them in a way where I could still make a profit on that. If you're buying a card that's worth $700 and you're buying it for $8, you're an idiot.
How do you figure comps on things that are low serial number where you don't see comps?
So that and cards that are pop ones are the hardest because there's no comps on those.
Correct.
So you have to find a similar card on a similar product. So for like Prism, I always looked at Select or National Treasure, something like that, where it's the same player, similar serial number, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what the people that are like pros in this, that's what they do for a freaking living. They're going to come to your table and they're going to ask you, like, they know numbers in their heads. They do so many deals and they're like, how'd you get that comp? And like they want to know. And you're like, there is no comp for that one. That's a 2022 Prism. There's no comps out for it. I looked at the 22 Select, whatever it is, freaking gold. And it sold for this. Prism's a little higher product, so it's 10% higher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the pop ones are the worst, bro. The pop ones are the worst because I have quite a few. And pop ones, you can literally price however you want. Yeah, there's no comps.
Yeah, I've graded a lot of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre cards where I've gotten 10s where they're pop ones.
Right.
I've had 9s pop ones with none higher.
None higher, yeah.
So, I have a decent amount of those.
Yep.
So I was just, it's one of the, it's a collection that I'm not going to sell anytime soon.
And I tell everyone, a card is worth whatever somebody wants to pay.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's been cards where I am almost done with my full rainbow of 17-18 optic De'Aaron Fox rated rookies. I'm almost done. I only have 3 left. I got the Black Velocity, I got the Gold Vinyl, and the other freaking 101. The only ones I have left. I know the person that has a 101. It's so frustrating because I'm trying to negotiate with them to get that card, but they have such a stupid price on it. I won't. Do they want 20 grand for it? I'm like, it's not an auto.
What are you willing to pay for the?
10.
You may have a $10,000 card with you.
Yeah, but it's just crazy because this person only collects basketball. That's it. Because I tried doing my Comzot Gold, PSA 10, auto, worth about 10 to 12, straight across. Nope, only do basketball. And like, I got a couple Wimpies I could do.
You got a Wimby now.
I don't know if I want to do it with Wimby. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, when you're doing something for your PC, it's so much different because that money's gone.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done quite a few deals where I'm like, I'm going to give you 10, but I know I'm going to go 3 tables down and already got a deal done, or I'm going to get 12 and I'm going to make 2 off of this. You know what I'm saying? When you're dishing out 10 and it's just gone, that's a different feeling.
No, I completely agree.
It's a different feeling. But I have paid up for cards in my PC, just like that De'Aaron Fox. There's a couple that I had a hard time finding, and I had to have some of my buddies look for me that go to like these shows in Dallas and all these other shows. And one of the hardest ones I had to find was the white sparkle, because you only get those on the sparkle packs.
Correct.
And those are super hard to find. And I finally found one, and I overpaid for it. But I was like,
because you finally found one.
I'm like, dude, I've been looking for 3 years for this thing.
Yeah.
And I might not get another chance.
And that's the thing is trying to complete rainbows nowadays. It's almost
hard.
impossible.
Unless you start with the 101, I would say don't do it. Unless you start with the 101.
But if you go through Prism, there's like 60
It's so dumb.
different versions of it.
Dude, even with the freaking optic that I was doing, I looked at the checklist at dude, there's some that are not on there. I'm like, how the hell do you have a checklist with all the freaking parallels on here? And then I'm looking online and I'm like, what the hell is this? What's this yellow velocity?
Yeah.
I'm like, where does this come from? And it's like, but they don't have the retail. They don't have the other ones, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's some out there that until I really got into it and learning about it, I'm like, dude, there's like 10 of these that aren't even on here. And I thought I was close to done.
Yeah, I use Beckett's website. Mm-hmm. I have an account to log all the cards in my collection or whatever, and you can see all of the parallels for every player.
Oh, nice.
So, if I ever wanted to build a rainbow somebody, it's impossible. There's no way that
I would never do it with Frito San Prism. I would never do it Prism. There's just too many cards.
I have a lot of certain years, but my PC is Packers. Mm-hmm. And I have at least one auto of every Kings player that has been a Sacramento Kings player auto in a Sacramento uniform.
Nice.
So there's there's probably like 200 or so now, but because a lot of the players don't have autos.
Right.
And then autos only started from a certain year.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to find the auto in a newer box. So like a Reggie Theus auto in like a 2015 box, even though he played in 1985.
Yeah.
So I have literally one auto of every King to date.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool.
So last question, Optic is coming out in a week or two.
Optic.
Basketball.
Oh, because football's coming too.
Or is it football?
They're both coming.
Let me see which freaking one it is before I say.
But I think football is, possibly football is first.
Internet in here is terrific.
But Select is also coming too.
Select is coming. Crown Royale is coming. Optic football. How much do you think a box of Optic is going to be?
It's $9.99. I already know.
You think the hobby is going to be $9.99?
Yeah, and the first off the line will probably sell out around $12.50.
I think hobby's going to be higher, bro.
I don't think so.
I think because of that CJ Stroud downtown, what his cards are going for, I think a hobby box is going to be $1,200.
I think the first off the line will end around $1,200. I think the hobby box will be under $1,000.
I hope so. I don't think so.
But I can't afford a box.
I think basketball is going to be worse for one player.
Yeah. But the thing is, on dickssportinggoods.com, they've already got pre-releases of mega boxes and...
Oh, nice.
Oh, but I think that's of Select.
Select's
Optic is coming.
Select is super outrageous.
But I have purchased pre-sale of Select mega boxes and Select blasters because I know once those things hit Target or Walmart, they're going to be gone really quickly.
Well, that's something else. Both of those products are products that breakers are going to be breaking. So they're going to overprice the hell out of them.
Yeah, but the thing is I got it now, and it's $50 a mega.
Yep.
$29.99 for a blaster or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Those things hit the secondary market, they're $150.
Yeah.
And because of Wemby, that's what it's going to take to get them.
Yeah.
So I've got some coming already. I mean, with Dick's, they're behind. So the product will release.
Yeah.
And it's literally 3 or 4 weeks later, you'll get the stuff. So you have to wait a little longer, but you don't have to pay as much.
Yeah.
So.
All right, you guys, that's our show for this week. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to send your questions, topics that you want discussed on the show, anything you want us to bicker about, let us know. Appreciate your guys' continued support. And until next time, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Get out of my house.
Draft on Thursday.
Let's go.